Shabbat Shalom to all our friends who will be participating and watching this recording. We missed you, and we hope to see you at our next beach Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. It's a really nice sound. Really nice sound. When we sing the candle blessing, will you give them the holy praise while I'm playing the guitar? Okay. There's so much space. Sure, there's so much space. Don't worry about sitting in front of somebody. Everybody's sitting in front of somebody.
I understand that.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So good to see everybody here at the beach. We'll begin with a song of welcome and gathering and gratitude, page 2, in your little prayer pamphlet. Here we go. Let's try that again. Well, breathe that feeling in, my friends. How special it is to be at the beach. We lucked out in every way. I worried at the beginning of this week that we might all be melting on the beach. But instead we have an opportunity to enjoy this beautiful weather and each other's company as we welcome Shabbat. I'd like to extend a special welcome to anybody for whom it's their first time at TBT. It's this beautiful every single week for Shabbat. So welcome. And to all of our new friends, our old friends, we're so glad that we could be here together. If, as you're coming in, if you need a prayer packet and you didn't get one, please just raise your hand. I know we have a couple of volunteer helpers. Thank you, volunteer helpers, who will be here to help. I think we're okay for now, but thanks for keeping an eye. As we prepare to light the Shabbat candles, I'm going to invite everybody to just take a moment and find somebody nearby who maybe you didn't say hello to yet, and just wish them a Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Come on over, everybody, as you're coming in. There's plenty of room over here to sit, so don't worry. Come on in. No need to be self-conscious. There's plenty of space in here. We're just all singing as we gather and welcome Shabbat. And the only words you need to know as we enter Kabbalat Shabbat, these three Hebrew words, Ki Va Moed, which means here the beautiful occasion has arrived. So repeat after me. Ki Va Moed. And we know the melody, many of us. It goes Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. That's all you have to know, because all the rest of the words are just Yai Lalai. Here at TBT, we love to lift our voices and sing together, so let's just do that. Moed. Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. Ki Va Moed. Yai Lai Lai Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai Lai Lai. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
I'm going to teach you another new tune tonight. This is also a Sephardic tune. We're not going to do the words, we're just going to yai-dai-dai our way through it. But this is nice and fun and rhythmic, so if you feel like moving, move. It's good for you. Okay, so we're going to go slow a little bit first, right? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. You can do that, right? Ya-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Very good. The next part is real easy. Die-die-die-die-die. Die-die-die-die-die. We're going to repeat the first one. Ya-die-da-die, die-die-die-die, die-die-die-die-die. And that's it. We do it all over again. You ready? All right?
Ready.
second part, if you want to join me, feel free. But it's also very simple. It just kind of gets confusing because, too many things going on. Da da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. It kind of repeats that second part, right? Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. You got it. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Ready? Ya da 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 ya da 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 da.
That scale is not so familiar to most Western ears, but it's like the Jewish happy birthday. It's like that's how common it is in Jewish music. So it's nice to hear those blue notes. I love that. Thank you, Dr. C. Well, did everybody know that today actually has been a Jewish holiday? I know that sometimes when you see me, you're expecting to hear that about half the time because we have a lot of them. But there's actually used to be a website, isitAJewishHoliday.com. You can go home and report back whether that still exists. But does anybody know the name of today's Jewish holiday?
Huh?
Very close.
Close.
Very close.
Tuba. Very good. We got it.
Did you?
I didn't say
anything. Somebody said it over there.
corner.
Tu B'Av. Very good. Tu B'Av, which just means the 15th in the month of Av, which is the month that we're in right now, is sort of the Jewish Valentine's Day. Did you know that we have that? Very good. So did you know that we actually have a Valentine's Day, a day to celebrate love? And it's a minor Jewish holiday, but the Talmud records it, and here's what the Talmud says about it. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said, there were no finer days for Israel than Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur. We'll unpack that one closer to the holidays. During which the daughters of Israel would go out in borrowed white garments so as not to embarrass any woman who had none. The daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards. They would say, young man, lift up your eyes and see what you choose for yourself. Or, don't set your eyes on beauty, but set your eyes on family. Grace is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman who fears the eternal will be praised. So we have all kinds of beautiful thoughts and values in that. The beauty of love, dressing in white, like going to a wedding or the wedding of Shabbat, that is Shabbat every single week. And also the idea that actually the real beauty is what endures beyond skin value, skin deep. And so I would like to suggest that this Tu B'Av, we can all celebrate love and all kinds of love, not just romantic love, but love for our family members, love for our friends, love for our one-eyed furry companions, whom we have at least 2 in TBT. And this is just an opportunity to reach out to somebody near you or far away and give them a little love. Show them a little love and appreciation, this Tu B'Av. It's never a bad opportunity to do that, and that's why we have our own holiday. Of course, that theme of love and togetherness and companionship is throughout our Shabbat service, including in our crown jewel Shabbat hymn called Lecha Dodi, which we're going to sing together now. It's in your prayer packet on page 3.
while he's doing that, I just want to point out that Etzodin, the song that you just learned how to sing the Sephardic tune to, very specifically says, "My dearest bride, come to my garden. The vine has ripened, the pomegranates are ready." And it's for this very specific time of year.
Please excuse me while I blush and we sing together the words of Lecha Dodi, page 3. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Everybody, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmi'anu el Ameichad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet v'vitzila la 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 la. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nefach, v'yirikor avirana, merosh mikeret v'sucha, sucha aseh v'machshava tefila la 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 la. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Please rise as we welcome Shabbat into our midst. Holy v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, tochunei am segula, bo'ichala, bo'ichala. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. One more time. Lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat Likrat Kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. We stay standing for our call to prayer, the Baruchu. seat. We read together a prayer for creation. Page 4. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, creator of the tide of time. You guide the current of day into night, creating this moment of change in which stars flow through the heavens. We ride your wave of transformation, away from work and struggle, toward you and your holiness. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening glows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'arim, Ha'aravim. When we're here, we just feel the profundity of time so strongly. We're at this place where we look off into the expanse, we see the waves, we see the tide go in and come out, we see the sun rise and the sun sets, we see when the sun goes down the pull of the moon, the cycles of its waning and waxing throughout the season, and we're reminded that actually sometimes we need to go to a beautiful place to remind us of all that which is beautiful beyond places. The space that we can create inside to value the things that are more profound than any one thing in space. That, friends, is the message of Shabbat. Shabbat is, as Rabbi Abraham, Dr. Abraham Heschel said, a cathedral in time, a beautiful edifice within the cosmic eternity to which we return and we return again, to look out over the expanse and grasp that sense of the infinite, of that which lies beyond. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, O God, you love your people Israel. We continue with Shema.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Elohim Malchuta, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Elohim Malchuta, Le'olam Va'ed. Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 5.
Ve'ata et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzvavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, amen. Well, it's hard not to gaze out across the beautiful expanse of the sound and not think of that most mythical story in our people's history of the crossing of the sea. Imagine if the sea were to split and we could cross to freedom on Long Island. I'm happy to imagine that moment and stay dry and feel grateful for it. Page 6.
מי כמוך בעיני אדוני, מי כמוך נגע בקודש, מי כמוך בעיני אדוני, מי כמוך נגע בקודש. נורא תהילה, עושה פלא, נורא תהילה.
Let's all sing out, Yalalai. Yalalai.
לא מעט חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, ישראל.
At the bottom of the same page, here at such a beautiful place, oops, thank you, can be really helpful to take a moment for ourselves and experience the stillness and serenity of the natural world, and perhaps take that moment also to find a little inner quiet and an aspiration or a yearning that we're feeling. So that's what we do when we can express it in prayer during the Amidah. And so as has become our custom, I'm going to invite us to begin the Amidah together and then take a moment for silent prayer after the first three blessings, which can happen here or it can happen out anywhere on the beach by the side of the water, wherever you'd like to go. But I do encourage you to take that as a moment for just some silent introspection, meditation, or prayer. As easy as it can be to schmooze and socialize, which we'll have plenty of time to do at the end of the service. I really do encourage everybody to find their own prayerful space for just a few moments. And then when you hear the music, feel free to come back when you're ready, and we'll sing together our blessing for peace. So I invite us to please rise for the Amidah. It starts on page 7.
Adonai sefer hakitahu v'yagitehi batecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'sofer Chasei Avot v'Imaot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Eshach Sarah, Atah Gibor Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid atah, Mechalkel Chaim b'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol v'Rachamim Rabim, Tzomech Noflim v'Rofeh Cholim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem emunato l'shelei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, u'midomela, melech memit u'mechayeh, u'masmiach Yeshua. Ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. If you don't know what else to say, think about the miracle that you forgot to notice this week, and take just a moment to express some gratitude on the inside for it. Live in that feeling of the simple miracle. Please find your own space, friends, and we'll reconvene in just a few minutes.
Yes, yes. Oh, we've been very lucky.
Good night here too.
Yes. Yes, she does better by herself. Take care.
I just felt that when you sent it to me. And then I experienced it. Same thing. Yeah.
even in this beautiful space, it's important for us to create a moment of care and prayer for those who are in need of healing. So this is the part of our service where at TBT it's traditional to offer Mishaberach prayer, which is an ancient tradition to pray on behalf of those in need of healing. So I'm going to share the names of those who we know are in need of healing, and if there are others that you'd like to mention too, you can certainly feel free to do that. We think of our temple members, Amy Agranoff, Jen Casillo, April D'Amato, Norma Diamond, Ken Gammerman, Henry Gedenberg, Susan Glantz, Phyllis Kaufman, Jennifer Keller, Josh Lipschitz, Paula Retzky, and Ellen Warner. And our loved ones, Linda Kaufman, Lenore Shapiro, Connie Ambrosino, Lily Mackler, Janet Stratt, Carolyn Wolf, Nikki Bart, Jay Fliss, Sue Yaris, Jay Hanflig, Joanne Crisulo, Jerry Hill, Mark Ostreicher, Matthew Pincus, Brian Kamens, Steve Kamens, Cecilia Byrne, Steve Rudnick, Tim Maurer, Carol Bartlett, Sabine Meyer, Gloria Newell, Paul Frisman, Ruth Ottenheimer, Joni Pepper, Nancy Pepper, Sherry Cohen, Joan Sidney, Michael Stafford, Ira Weiss, Drew Garabo, Peg Pig, Harold Solomon, Izzy Yagoda, Michael O'Sullivan, and Adam Zielinski. There are others that we'd like to add to our prayers tonight for Mishaberach. Anybody for healing want to share their name aloud?
Carl Nadell.
Carl Nadell. Michael Stoller. Charlotte J.
Larry Babin.
Larry Babin.
John Van Steenbergen.
John Van Steenbergen.
Stacia Bjarnason.
One more time.
Stacia Bjarnason.
Stacia Bjarnason.
Rita Richmond.
Rita Richmond. Nice and loud, please, so we can all hear. Phyllis Loeb. Loeb.
Joe and Hope Viviani.
Joe and Hope Viviani.
Mal Rudner
Al Runner.
and Nancy Rappaport.
Nancy Rappaport.
Yakara Bat
Yakara Bat.
Kora Anna
Cora Anna.
and Chaim Ben Leah.
Chaim Ben Leah. We pray together, friends, that they should all have a swift healing of body, mind, or spirit. And we join together in the words of Mishaberach, on page 10. Well, I'm delighted this evening that our very own Lauren Sturman is going to share with us a few words of Torah. So please come on up, Lauren.
Well, when I received a note from Rabbi Moss asking if I would do the Devar Torah for the beach Shabbat, my brain said, no, no, no. Too much going on, too busy, terrible parking. As I read further, though, and learned that this Torah portion not only includes the 10 Commandments, but also the Shema and my personal favorite, the V'ahavta, I realized it was time to pull out the commentaries from the library. This was an incredible honor, and I do hope I rise to it. I'm not a Torah scholar. I am a social worker and a student of people's feelings and thoughts. And that is the perspective that I hope to bring to two areas, particularly of the Torah portion. Et Hanan, which translates to, and I pleaded, is essentially an accounting of Moses exhorting the Israelites as they draw near to the promised land to follow God's commandments. That is the people's fault, that it is the people's fault that he will not be able to enter with them because of their bad behavior in the desert. Many, many, many times he tells them they must do what God has commanded so they can live and prosper in the new land that he will never see. His tone is bitter, and he is clearly disappointed. We're being prepared to follow God's rules and regulations so that we will have lives of success. Sound familiar? Sort of like a parent telling their child how to grow up healthy, wealthy, and wise. Many times, Moses reminds the people that they must keep Adonai's commandments, saying, "And now, O Israel, give heed to the laws and rules that I am instructing you to observe, so that you may live to enter and occupy the land that Adonai, the God of your fathers, is giving you. You shall not add anything to what I command you, or take anything away from it, but keep the commandments of your God Adonai that I enjoin you." The consequences of not following God's commandments, that's for another discussion. But I can tell you it's not pretty. But here, Moses is saying that he is having the ultimate consequence of being left behind, the people he has given his entire life to, because he couldn't keep them in line. What do we parents do when our children don't follow the commandments of our home? Are there consequences? Are they consistently applied? Are they natural consequences or parentally applied? So Moses goes up the mountain and returns to the people waiting at the base with 3 tablets. Here are the 50, oops, 10.
Throwing down the tablets.
No, that was-
It didn't break.
that the Eternal One has declared. Well, Mel Brooks's bit got me thinking. Actually, when I told Ellsworth that this was the Torah portion, he was the one who reminded me of that iconic bit, and I looked at it. It's on YouTube if you'd like to see it. Are the commandments the whole recipe, or just the starting point? There are the positive and the negative commandments, thou shalt and thou shalt not. The positive commandments are pretty clear, but the negative, the thou shalt nots, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal or bear false witness, you shall not covet, 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 covet. We're told not to add anything or take away, but these don't really give us a roadmap of behavior, only the things we shouldn't be doing. What is the alternative when we feel like committing these forbidden acts? I talk to parents all the time who tell their kids not to fidget, shout, hit their brother, take their sister's stuff, talk back, you fill in the blanks. Those kids may need a roadmap of behavior just as the Israelites did. What do I do instead of talking back? What's the positive commandment associated with the behavior that I want from my child? And maybe that's where the 5 lost commandments come in. I believe we all have our own personal commandments that we live by. For instance, one of my favorites is say yes whenever possible, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? But what are yours? And I just for a moment think about, what are your personal commandments? And If you have one, just tell us. Anybody? Paul?
Be compassionate.
Be compassionate.
Think of others first.
First. I know they're out there. I know they're out there. Yes, Toby?
Do the right thing, you always know what it is.
Always remember that others are just as complex and have just as big internal lives as you do.
Anybody else?
Got one over on the right. Marlena was.
No, there was someone over there.
That's it, 2 more apart.
You know, I was thinking of that also, Tim. That's, that's social worker and doctor speak, right? Hero Israel Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. You shall love your God, Adonai, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Well, there's another commandment. How do we love God in order to follow that commandment? Rashi, the medieval rabbi from France, says, with all your heart means we should serve God with all our powers of goodness, compassion, and charity, as well as with our powers for competition, success, and physical strength. With all your soul means we should be ready to give our lives, if necessary, for the principles of our faith. And with all your might means we should be willing to use our property and wealth to perform acts of charity that promote the survival of our people. Maimonides, the Spanish rabbinic scholar who lived a bit later than Rashi, believed that to love God, charity and compassion are sufficient. It's an intellectual commitment. Study and critical contemplation bring you to a closer understanding of God and to reaching that stage of joy where love of God is bound to follow. And here's one I really like. Even telling jokes can be seen as a way of awakening the sense of love in the mind, according to the Hasidic Maggid of Mezerich. So what is God's love language? Don't laugh. Toby's laughing. The 5 Love Languages is a book that was published in 1992, written by Gary Chapman. It suggests that there are 5 ways that romantic partners express and experience love. They are acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Chapman has since extended the value of understanding these love languages to parents and children, as well as singles, and to the work environment. Given the transactional nature of the Israelites' orders, observe God's laws and commandments, which I enjoin upon you this day, that it may go well with you and your children after you, and that you may long remain in the land that your God, Adonai, is assigning for you for all time. God's love language seems to be primarily acts of service and gift giving. In Rashi's and Maimonides' understanding of how to love God is insight into their love languages. Rashi seems to be all about acts of service, while Maimonides might have been a quality time kind of guy. While this may seem simplistic, it is important information whether we are in the pursuit of loving God, or our spouse, or our children. We may be giving love in our own love language, and it may be totally missed because the person on the receiving end doesn't experience love that way. So whether our song is "All It Takes Is Love" or "Teach Your Children Well," it comes down to making sure that your message is clear, the path well lit, and our hearts stay pure. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, Lauren. That was beautiful. And that idea of God's love language, not only is it going to stay with you, but it's perfect for Tu B'Av.
I meant to say that. Yeah, I was so excited when you said that. It was like,
Get on. Hit it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep thinking about that one, that's for sure. Well, with those beautiful and aspirational ideas in our hearts, we'll conclude our service together, friends, with the Aleinu prayer, which is on page 11. So if it's comfortable for you, please feel free to rise where you are.
Aleinu
have a seat for a moment, except for Marlene. Marlene is greeting us on behalf of our board. So welcome, Marlene, and welcome to the board.
Yes, thank you. Yes, this is my debut. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and a warm welcome to any guests who are here with us this evening. My name is Marlene Schwartz, and I'm a member at large on the board of directors. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., please join us on Zoom for Torah study led by Dr. Kasorla. The link is in your inbox. And then this Sunday, August 14th, there is a lot going on under the tent in the parking lot. So from 9:30 to 11:30, Dr. Kasorla will be greeting religious school families, so please come by and say hello. And then later at 3:30 p.m., Kol Ami invites all TBT women to enjoy a wine tasting. Links to RSVP for both of these events are on the front page of the TBT website and in your inbox. We also have a new adult education opportunity. During the Hebrew month of Elul, many Jews take time to heal relationships that can be healed and to let go with forgiveness those that cannot. And this work is often guided by study. As we prepare to welcome the year 5783, Rabbi Moss and Dr. Kasorla are offering a 4-session class beginning on Wednesday, August 31st. You can find more information about that on the TBT website under Adult Education and in your inbox. Finally, next Friday, Shabbat services will be at 6:30 p.m. on the Madison Green in front of the First Congregational Church. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Just out of curiosity, how many have been to one of our building tours that we had in the past?
Oh, nice.
That's
Must be.
okay. That's great. And how many who haven't would be interested if we put another one on the calendar? Some of you raised your hands twice.
Now, Lauren didn't.
No, I always say that. I know. I think we're actually going to add another date because they've been very popular and successful. So thanks very much to Gary and to Jill and Toby and Susan, who's not here, and everybody else who's been involved with leading those. Here at the end of the service, we take a moment to think of all of those who have passed away from this world, but who remain ever strongly in our hearts and in our lives, even though they have departed the earth. And so if you're in a period of mourning, I invite you to rise if you're comfortable doing that as I read the name of your loved one. Those who passed away at this time in years past, for their yahrzeit, we honor Arthur Beck, Millie Corbin, James Maurice Hyman, Estelle Goldstein, Stan Josephson, Hannah Miller-Lee, Merritt Rudner, Arlene Alpert, Henry Burnblum, William Kelly, Zale Koff, Muriel Milstein, Herta Tenenbaum, Charles Ahrens, Diane Johnson, Anna Goodkind, and Jack Page. If there are others who are saying Kaddish tonight, feel free if you want at this time to rise and share the name of your loved one. Bruce? Which? Please.
Jeannie just left.
Jean Gislett. Others who are saying Kaddish tonight? I'll invite us please to rise in solidarity. Heather. Page 12. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'omad yibrach v'yirtei v'yamlit malchutei, v'chayekon v'yomekon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalam v'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yeh shmei Rabbah v'varach ve'olam v'mei amayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran ve'alma v'yimru amen. Yeh shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom yirama. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace grant peace in our world and healing to all those whose hearts are torn by loss. As together we say, Amen. Shalom Imromah, Uyaseh Shalom. friends, Shabbat Shalom. Again, so good to be together and to share this beautiful space and time. If tonight is your any first timers at a TBT service here, by the way? Anybody who's here for the first time? No? Okay. At least one person who's here for the first time. Well, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but we have a lot of people here who are really excited to welcome you and help you feel special but not too self-conscious after the service, including many members of our board like Marlene and Toby and our president Karen, who I see back there. And so we'll all look forward to greeting each other after the service. And this is a great time. Everybody can have a seat, except for maybe everybody who's under the age of 18, because I see we have some teens here. Wants to come up and help us lead Kiddush? Kiddush and Motzi? I don't have the words. We're just going to stand here. Don't worry. Just come along, okay? Somebody give us a key. True. Shabbat kodesho, be'ahava u'ratzon yilchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tefillah, l'nikra'ei kodesh, ze'efer tzion Yisrael, ki banu v'afarta, Tanu Kidasha Mikonim V'Shabbat Kodeshecha V'Ahava U'Ratzon Nimchaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai Okay, but don't go anywhere yet because we need to make some motivation. Okay, ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. That's Hebrew for bon appetit. Okay, so anybody who can have gluten, have ye some gluten. I'd also like to really thank Haida and Joshua and the Mueller-Hatton clan for their help with the technology tonight and every night. It really takes a village to make this happen, and we have the village to make it happen. So really, like Moda Ani, I'm so grateful. Awesome village, and you're all part of it too. Okay, can you help us with our closing song too, but only after you swallow that, please. This is going to be Oseh Shalom by Michael Oakes, or as I call it, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom. Excellent.
So that was a groaner. Ready? Oseh Shalom b'momah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'momah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'momah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'avo Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'avo Yisrael. Shalom b'momah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'momah. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good job, y'all. I think at least one of you have a Shabbat for lunch.
Yes.